Well. Hello and welcome. Yes. We are, having finally another Friday night stream. I had some things to go. September is always event heavy. But I think I have some interesting stuff to share. I'll open up in parallel my other channels and see if we are actually live. That's something. Yeah, looks good. Okay. Without further ado, I'll try to come up with some interesting topics for you. We had OpenAI Dev Day this week. So, kind of interesting. New announcements, which I really liked. And let's first of all outline what we're going to do today. And by doing this, I can show you a new tool of mine, which I started using a bit more. So let me quickly go to Napkin AI. So we sign in. Napkin AI is a pretty cool new tool. This is finally that's what I mean if I talk about actually having proper AI usage integration, because that's what Gen AI is meant to be, at least from my point of view. About the classification of AI solutions, I came up with a new level system, which we come to after we talked about the OpenAI Dev Day stuff and maybe tried some stuff out. Okay, so AIOktober-Fest stream. What are we going to do today? First of all, OpenAI Dev Day. We have some interesting topics. First of all, OpenAI Dev Day. First of all, we have several new features presented, which are the real-time API. I've waited for this because there is so much application for that. Real-time API. Then we do have caching, finally, which is already... Did I write caching? Yeah, I did. Which I already had some experience with on the Anthropic Claude side. Some interesting comparisons about that. We will have a quick view into fine tuning and distillation. And then we go ahead and we look at the new canvas feature in ChatGPT, which looks really good. I'm really eager to dive in. And when we're done with Dev Day, I would love to present you let's not say present, it's not completely final, but we're like 80%. Well, that's why I'd love to talk to you about 5 levels of AI solutions, because I thought maybe if we have a classification system, then we might on one hand like be better at actually like receiving something. Sorry. Let me rephrase. We would be better at evaluating solutions we want to buy. We also would be better in like classifying our own ideas and where they might fit, because then from the level you can derive like complexity and gain, compared to different levels. And also if you have a process you want to automate, it's always good to start at like a first try with a bit lower level and then go upwards. Don't start at level 1. I'll tell you why when we get there. Okay, that being said, I'd love to dive in. Real-time API. This is finally there. So I had I think last week, I had access to the ChatGPT advanced voice mode. And this is basically the API for that, which means you can build your own voice mode. And that's kind of neat, to be honest. How does this work? So you basically send audio in, you send audio out. You get audio out. This reduces the latency because you don't have to do any conversions, which took a lot of time before that. And under the hood, the real-time API lets you create persistent WebSocket connection. Means like you have really like persistent connections, like you would with a stream or something, or with an actual voice call. And the API supports function calling, which is possible for voice assistant to respond to user requests by triggering actions and pulling in new context. And that is really cool. So what you can do, you can define functions for the AI to execute by triggering with your voice. So, for example, integrate function calling to get some documents to execute something. So you can basically build your own Siri now with a really neat intelligence level, to be honest. And honestly, I'm thinking about maybe building my own personal assistant. Might get a bit expensive over time because looking at pricing, we are actually at approximately 6 cents per minute of audio input and 24 per minute of audio output. Means if you get like 3 responses, which are around 20 seconds, you pay 24 cents. Having like an hour-long conversation, you can imagine how this might pan out. Also interesting to think about mitigation tactics and stuff. So yeah, this is cool. What's cool as well is that you now will have a new modality in the normal API. Like you were able to send images and you were able to send text, of course. And now you will be able to send voice to it, and it can then work like you used to. So yeah, great stuff there too. And as far as I've seen from people using it, you are able to actually build up a system properly, and like it can use function calling. Yeah, it's really cool. I actually kind of stoked because voice input and reduced latency might reduce a lot of barriers existing today. Let's quickly switch to prompt caching. Prompt caching in the API, offering automatic discounts on inputs that the model has recently seen. And Claude has this too, or like Anthropic has this Claude. That's the right way to phrase it. They have basically you in the driver's seat. Well, like, hey, this is like the part of the prompt I want to cache, and you have to, actually do it kind of manually as a developer. This is not necessary here, and the prompt caching is applied automatically, which makes sense. Because like you save also like resources on your side if you don't, because as far as I understood that how it works is they're just taking like this part of the prompt which is repeated, which repeats itself, and so that for that part they already know how it like how it influenced like the next token, I guess. So they could reduce the paths to go through the model or something. So yeah, the model execution itself gets easier as far as I understood, and good for them. Like it's automatically applied. Cached input tokens are like half the price of the normal. Same goes for fine tuning. And yeah, as far as I understood, applies across the board for 01 preview, 01 mini too. So yeah, good stuff. Did I say model? Yeah, fine tuning distillation. Okay. Yeah, that's basically all you have to say about. Okay. It's on. I don't know if many of you know, but on the responses. Of basically any model, you get the token usage with you. I use it in our application to actually calculate how much token we spend, and now you have additional details, which like how many cache tokens you had, and also how many audio tokens you had. I think it's good. And reasoning tokens is new. I haven't seen that. I guess it's meant for 01 for its like thinking, quote unquote. Yeah, cool stuff. So let's check the third part. We have a new fine tuning. So you were only able to fine tune on text. Now you can fine tune on images too. How this works is you basically prepare a chat where you add the URL and add an answer and stuff. So they I think Grab is kind of an Uber of Asia, and they were able to train on images to recognize science and stuff better. This one is actually pretty interesting, I think, for an application I have in mind, where they actually were able to have like fed-in screenshots so that the on-screen automatic clicking worked better. So they have the AI basically take a screenshot and find the coordinates of a button and then click the button, so that it basically automatically can use a computer. And that's what they done here, which is kind of cool. And I had the same thing. I was analyzing documents, and we had a lot of screenshots in there which just describe the situation or what you have to do or where you have to click. And I was thinking about actually training a model to be better at recognizing scenes in a screenshot. Just to be more precise in document processing. Because you have documents where the image is like essential for understanding what the whole document says. So in these situations, you won't be able to get real far with just the text. So yeah. And what they also did, like this is another example. What they also did was model distillation in the API. And that's something I will have a look at this, maybe make another stream about this in the end of the month. This is basically use a big model to train the smaller model to do. And that's really, really interesting, because if you think about it, like you have a lot of gains now in O1, and O1 is basically trained by itself, or like with reward function, but without a lot of human interference. So, and the how good the model is was basically just set by how much compute was put in, and the more compute you get in, the better it gets. Which shows like you have now this frontier model for O1, and you could take GPT-4o mini and just inside your OpenAI build your pipeline to actually train and loop over and therefore fine tune your model on a specific case, which I find kind of cool, because then you generate from O1 to train for O mini, and everything happens inside OpenAI. So bit more complicated topic. Nothing I could just glance over here, but I will have a look. I think this is really, really interesting. Okay, that's the basic announcements, which were like the first day. Now we have something. I can just open my chat. We already have a new chat. So we have a new feature which is currently in beta. Beta. German in me comes through. Which is it's still in beta. Beta. Oh, Jesus Christ! I have to find it out. Yeah. How do I speak in English? Pronounce beta. Yeah, beta. Okay. beta. Okay. The beta. Yeah, beta. I think beta is right. That's that's what the YouTubers say, right? Okay. It's still in beta. So what does it do? Let's actually just reset this. I would love to create a blog post about model distillation, and how this actually works. Distillation, was it? And now you see on the right side, it writes a blog article, and it's not putting everything here in the actual chat. And this is known by like Claude Artifacts does the same. What Claude doesn't do is this one lets you add something here, or just like work on the text, which I find pretty neat, because I always find myself asking Claude to change stuff I could basically quickly change myself. What you also can do, you can mark sections and say, hey, make this a bit more concise. And then it just reworks that part. And I love this. I had this with the image part of GPT, where you can just mark something in the image and just like transform that. And that worked pretty well. And this is kind of like really neat. I really like this. It's by the way the first time I try it now myself. You could also work together on this. Like you can have someone else be with you on that, and I think you can leave comments. Yeah. Not sure. I have something in the way here. Wait a second. Oh yeah, okay. Final polish. Say add emojis. You can reading level. KKK. That's interesting. You can just adjust the reading level. That's cool. And they always have nice effects here. Interesting. So you can adjust the reading level just by pulling a tab. And it's not bloating up your chat. That's really cool. I really like that. What I cannot do is jump between versions, as far as I can tell. Interesting. Okay, cool. I don't know if you're familiar with Gemini. Gemini also has a lot of these features, at least on every prompt, or like had this forever, basically. But yeah, interesting. Therefore, blog. I can change the writing style here. And I can add it. So let's go for the other part, which they show. Like that was basically one way to use it for writing, and the other was for coding. So well, let's do the classic. Write the game snake in HTML. Okay, there we go. So it does not do a preview, as far as I understood. So this is basically an HTML file, and okay. Okay, interesting. You can do a code review. Interesting. So okay. So now okay, interesting. I told him to do a code review, and now he has some changes suggested, which I can simply apply. Interesting. Cool. Okay, I can port it to another language. Keep current, Python, C++, JavaScript, Java. Okay, how was this look in C++? Now I'm curious. Interesting. Okay, just prints it out in C++. We're up for something here. I'm completely honest. I don't write C++, or I have written. I can read the code because it's close to what I'm used to, but yeah, interesting. Can I still jump to the HTML version? Yeah, I can. Okay, so let's quickly remove the code change suggestions. So it works kind of well. I like that. It also created a new file, which is also cool, so I can jump between the versions. Okay, I can add comments. No, he is adding comments. Okay, like he's adding code comments. Okay. I gotcha. Interesting. It's just describing everything. Okay. Add logs and fix bugs. Okay. So quintessential. I think it's really interesting because everything in here, I was thinking if I can mark this, I can ask something. Okay, that one I expected. But adding comments and stuff, because they also told you can now work together on an artifact like this. I was thinking I can leave comments for other people to check, but I think it's more meant to apply different skills, tasks to the given code. Interesting. Cool. Okay. No preview feature, by the way, so you have to copy and try it out. Okay, cool. So it's different from what Claude did, especially without the preview, which is kind of neat in Claude, I have to say. Yeah, okay. There you have it. This was basically what OpenAI did this week. And I'm really interested in how good this coding stuff works. I have to put it through its paces. Usually I fall back to using Claude 3.5 Sonnet for all things coding. Maybe we'll keep doing that. But this might be interesting to iterate on. This might also be interesting, for example, on the iPad, where I don't have a code editor and can prepare code which I can copy as soon as I'm back to being at my desktop, or my notebook. Okay, cool. That's kind of neat. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, cool. Interesting to see where this goes, especially like these quick actions. I can imagine this being even extended over time and getting even better. And maybe you can build some GPTs in combination with Canvas and build your own functions. And yeah, a lot of potential. And you can just close it up if you want to. And I think with Claude, it's known that the Claude solved this with a system prompt. So everything you see with the extra rendering is basically just behavior of the UI interpreting what Claude's giving back. This, on the other hand, has the notion of being an actual artifact. Might also be a system prompt. Not sure about that. But yeah, it's cool. So here you have it. A bit of software magic combined with LLMs. Okay. Good. I think these were the two examples they showed. Would be nice to see where the collaboration part is. That's for sure. But okay. Cool. Why am I in this napkin AI thing? Let's add some. Napkin AI, I would love to shout them out because they are still in beta. We have we have just a list here. Maybe I would love to have a graphic from it. Wouldn't it be nice if you can just click a button and have AI suggest some graphics to me? Well, if you think that would be neat, then that's exactly what we have here. It's still in beta. Still in beta. But yeah, if I would love to have my stuff converted to graphics, this would be the thing. For example, let's just go for this one. Yeah, there you have it. You can edit it, you can export some, you can export stuff, you can download it as a PNG, as an SVG, also as a PDF. You can say dark mode, light mode. You can say background on or off. So you can just drop it into your PowerPoint or something, resolution, whatever. So you can basically say, I can even copy it and then throw it somewhere. This is I was blown away. It's actually pretty fast. I think you can have a second one if you want to. Yeah. This would be nice, like a timeline, right? And you have always different, I think they call them sparks. And you can choose what actually will be the style you're going for. Yeah. I think if you're done with this, you cannot change it, right? No, it doesn't look like that. So the editor itself, to be completely honest with you, is not meant for writing your whole text in there. But you have a way to finally, I hate this so much, to generate graphics and also have the graphics be editable. Like you can change the colors here and stuff. So it's not like generating an image, but it's building out a component. And yeah, really, really, really like that. Okay. Napkin AI. You can look it up. I might link it somewhere after the stream or something. Maybe not. Oh, you'll see. It's not that. It's not that bad of an URL. Okay, cool. Now, 5 levels of AI solution. Then I have to come up with my notes. Which, of course, I had Claude helping me out a lot with that one. There we go. Okay, 5 levels of Gen AI solutions for business. Let's just drop them in here quickly. By the way, someone has to come up with something to have consistent, like copy paste. I think. Oh, that works. I take it back. Okay. I came up with the idea. Like, I don't know if you know, like, there is like 5 levels of autonomous driving. Like, okay, level 0, no automation, don't care. Level 1, driver assistance. Level 2, part automation. Level 3, conditional automation. Level 4, high automation. And level 5, full automation. In car that means like full automation is basically you don't even have a steering wheel anymore. Like you trust 100%. On the other side of the spectrum, you have driver assistance. This is like this, you know, for like ages now, where you can, for example, say, "Hey car, I want you to keep this speed." Without me being on the throttle. Level 2 would be partial automation, which is like, okay, I'm holding not only the speed but also the distance to the guy in front automatically. When he brakes, the car brakes by itself. So it's like partial automation. Still in a narrow field, but yeah. Now you go to conditional automation, and that's the part where I think we get now the first cars, at least in Germany. BMW had this, where you say, hey, okay, now you can not only have it like hold the lane, you can hold the lane, hold the distance to the car in front, but you also can just put your eyes away already. Like you don't have to have, or I think. Or you might need to still look yourself, but you can take your hands away from the steering wheel. But you have to basically be ready to take over. So level 3 is basically you are ready to take over when the car thinks you need to. Okay? And then we have level 4, which is already like, okay, the car is driving by itself. You still have a steering wheel, but you need to be able to take over in critical situations and stuff. But you're basically autonomous. You can drive it yourself. You don't have to anymore. You can. I don't know if you can go to sleep level 4, but you can do something else and not look on the street. And level 5 automation is basically you don't even have a steering wheel anymore. You just sit in the car. You maybe don't even look on the while you're driving. You maybe sit like on the opposite side of each other, like you would in your living room. Yeah. Based on that, I also seen like 5 levels of AI, OpenAI. Yeah. I think they came up with 5. I think they came up with 5 levels of AI where they thought, okay, yeah, conversational AI. Basically, you can have conversations with it. Reasoning AI is where we like going to now is reason on a human level. You have autonomous AI, which, yeah, the first agent systems. Then you have AI that actually comes up with new stuff. And then you have AI, which is basically a complete organization and does stuff for you, like actual work without supervision, I guess, which would be then like AGI mostly. Yeah. So based on that, I had the idea. Why don't we go ahead and make it a bit more specific to business solutions? Like, I was running around on the Bits and Pretzels on Sunday and on Monday, and I was like, that's not really an AI implementation. That's just saying it's AI. That's kind of AI. That's classical AI. And I was thinking, okay, why don't we try to classify what solutions do we have? And that's where I started and said, okay, what would be, my opinion, something? And the thing is, the other two I showed you, they were like looking in the future. I wanted to have 5 levels I can have today, or I can build today, at least with enough resources and time. So why this thing? I think it's healthy for everyone to have a baseline, which means like if you as a company look at AI solutions or you're evaluating your own AI solutions, then this is something I would love to hand over to you, where you can evaluate yourself and also see what are the consequences. This is, by the way, the part that's still missing, but yeah, like I said, I will work on that. I think maybe on Sunday and then Monday, and then I'll make it public somehow. Let's quickly glance over it. So I have level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and every level is you are actually able to achieve a solution in that level. So left level 1, basic Gen AI systems. This is basically you preparing a system prompt, and you have like this conversational part. No RAG, no anything. It's just like optimizing the goal with handing over statically like a system prompt, something like really basic solution. You can say, okay, I'm a retailer, and we do like closing for outdoor, and then you have the system prompt prepared, and then you say, hey, let's generate a new product description. You could also keep your customers in line or something like really, really simple conversational stuff. Then the next level would be contextual Gen AI solutions. This is where mostly we are at. Like, I would say like level, these are basically the Copilot levels, Microsoft Copilot, or most chatbots don't really go out of this level, which makes me furious because level 3 is so much more helpful and people just don't do it. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Context AI, like enhanced retrieval and generation systems. This is basically meant for all the systems that have a RAG pipeline, which simply like takes your request, goes to the RAG pipeline, fetches a document or two, and then gives you the answer. It already has some data integration. Would it already have function calling? I don't think so. It doesn't. Like this one just searches a document from a vector database and hands you over the information, like contextual technical documentation, intelligent financial report summarization. Like nothing is new here. Like it just bases off existing solutions, documents, and then goes ahead. I'm sorry. Goes ahead and retrieves the information, hands over the information, summarizes it for you. Nothing special here. I would say this is not as useful, but some maybe enough to test something out. Most prototypes are not leaving this stage. A lot of prototypes now use RAG pipelines because it's really easy to set them up. Like, might also be in this stage. I think if you take the Microsoft Copilot, it's in between 2 and 3 because they have some advanced features. They also have something that, like for the summarization of meetings and stuff, where they kind of proactive even. So I would love to see more stuff like that. So, but yeah, unfortunately, right now we don't have it. Level 3, intelligent GenAI ecosystems. Like it says, like intelligent. I deliberately put the word in here because you basically are at a point where you have a pipeline and not only like request, retrieval, answer. Pipeline means you have some advanced handling of the request. I would love to. Do I have it still open here? Yes. No. Wait a second. Let's open. Okay. This is the last stream. So what I mean is, you have an advanced pipeline where you basically say, okay, we have an input from the user, and then we do like a whole bunch of stuff in between before we get the answer, just to improve the answer quality. Also, stuff like grounding would fall into that, where you go ahead, okay, I'll retrieve some documents, and then I'll not just like summarize them, give them back. I'll actually try to come up with citations and stuff, which also needs some in-between processing before you answer. So everything that goes like beyond simple retrieval, I would put into level 3 because it uses some reasoning capabilities, some intelligence. And these two are basically using only language output, some language understanding, but not like a huge. There is not a huge agency in that. These systems would also fall into. These systems would fall into. That's still not agents. That's what they sell you as agents, by the way. These are not agents. Agents start like you have these like the Copilot level or the basic chatbot level. You have this in-between level where you're kind of close to agentic behavior, but not yet there. Because you don't have autonomy. And for me, agentic behavior always has to have some kind of autonomy, which will lead us here. Proactive GenAI assistance. If we go back to our last stream, I had like step 1 was like the simple solution. Step 2 was pre-aggregate underlying data, and step 3 was generate underlying analysis on the fly, which meant basically we for the first thing, and you see like I started with level 3 as the easy, and that's what I also would suggest. Sorry, my throat is still. I was a bit ill. Give me a second. Okay, so now back to the talk. I would start with level 3 because I think that makes the most sense. It's not that much more work. The results are hugely better. How would level 4 of this look like? That's what I said here, is pre-aggregate the underlying data, which actually just means that we have a semi-autonomous system. We now have some algorithm that actually goes ahead and prepares stuff for us in the background without supervision, or maybe looking at something, creating tasks, creating some backtracking to you, so that you can answer its questions, all the questions that came up during the processing in the background. Means you have autonomous, like back to our example, we have a financial system where we, in step one, take the existing stuff and just see that we understand the question correct and execute on that. Or, on the other hand, we will go to level 4. Analytics format will be pre-filled and pre-generated before we actually ask for it, so that we can have further analysis, or we can have stuff that we already are pointed to and we can look on. That's why it says like semi-autonomous Gen AI systems. By the way, human in the loop is something you would also consider on, but here's where you really need, like, human in the loop means you have an AI system and it works, but it keeps the human in the loop to either hand over some more info or just give some feedback before it goes on, or execute something. I think I won't be able to do long today, sadly. But we will get to the levels. Okay, so Gen AI solutions that work proactively generating content and insights in the background. These systems provide grounded feedback based on predefined rules and parameters. And the last part, the rules and parameters part, that's the important part. It does not come up with its own rules, and it does not have the autonomy to go beyond what it's actually set up for. Means if we have a financial system, I still have rules, structures, maybe schemas, which we follow. We just use AI to pre-aggregate and make suggestions, and also pre-analyze stuff, so that we can actually open up our application where we have our controlling, and just have a look, take a look, and see what we can do. That's level 4 for me. You're still steering wheel when you want to compare it to the car analogy. You still have a steering wheel, or besides that, you have to give it some freedom. Now, level 5, autonomous Gen AI agents. Now we get on the territory where I say, okay, I have a task that has to be done, maybe a task that's recurring, that has to be done over and over again. Now I have not only like partly autonomous stuff that runs in the background, but I have an AI system which has still rules, but is partly autonomous on how to solve something. This would be done by setting up different personas, which are all agents in and of itself. And one agent would produce an outcome, another agent would take this outcome and would evaluate it, and they would work as long as they need until they get the desired result. I think fully autonomous is also like I would still prefer to have a human in the loop for handing over some feedback, handing over some files. My first system I approached was kind of level 5 because, why not? I was, and that's where I met so many obstacles where I was like, okay, this needs a lot of work, and maybe I should start with that. And that's basically a pattern that repeated itself over the course of all the AI stuff that I did. This is really something that you can get running, and I think with stuff like O1 it will be even more more realistic, but you're still at a point where you have to keep track of what it's doing. You have to set pretty exact boundaries because AI is not 100%. I tell this like everywhere all the time. AI is good, and the more you narrow it down, the closer you get to 100%, but you won't get to 100%. In terms of agents, stuff multiplies. And if you multiply 0.95 times 0.95, and again times 0.95, you get smaller and smaller and smaller. So your solutions, the more complex they get and the more your autonomous system has to go over, these small errors add up. And that's what makes building these systems not impossible, and depending on the task, even useful. But we might need some more consistency in the outputs, and maybe some evaluation function, some reward function to go along with it, so that the whole agent system knows it's still on track. You also might have to consider condensing the actual times it or the attempts it has. So that's basically like the most advanced system you can think of. I think what I've came up with was the generate underlying analysis on the fly. It's not really. It might still fall under 4. But basically, what I said here, like, okay, it knows the data and goes ahead and creates its own Python analysis function, which then is just executed so that you get back the result. So there might be also an agent system behind that, but like it's fully autonomously just answering the question without a lot of rules besides what it has from the question. But it goes ahead, checks which data it has in access, and then it executes its own read operations and stuff. So it's already really autonomous, but still not something that works in an agent system or has to work in an agent system. So maybe, we go for level 4 more. So just a quick recap. Our 5 levels of basic Gen AI solutions for businesses are level 1, basic Gen AI systems, level 2, contextual Gen AI solutions, which, like I said, is kind of in the Copilot region. And then we have the intelligent Gen AI ecosystems. This is where you really start to see gains and really use the reasoning capabilities of the models. Then you have level 4 proactive Gen AI systems, where you have semi-autonomous Gen AI systems. Means stuff gets prepared, stuff gets worked in the background, pre-processed. So you have really like a more capable system, which still has clear guidelines, still needs human feedback to actually deliver on anything. But it's not completely without its own agency. I would, for example, love something that just goes autonomously in the background over my emails, classifies them, and categorizes them, and also, to a degree, has the autonomy to, for example, delete newsletter. That would be nice. And I was hoping for a Copilot to actually be that, but it's still really reactive. Means, for me, everything from level 4 has to have some autonomy and some agency to it, because otherwise you're always stuck with the like barrier that you have to trigger it and you have to do it. There is like the real value is like also like if you have an employee and you have to tell him like every step of every task, it won't be helpful. So that's why I think if we talk about agents, we should talk about at least level 4 systems. And level 5 systems, I think self-explanatory. Is every solution a clear cut? No. You have, like I said, Copilot might already be in between level 2 and 3 because they have some advanced pipelines now in the background. At least it looks like it. You have also stuff in between a RAG pipeline and a system prompt, and the same goes for here. You can have an intelligent ecosystem where you have the human in the loop. But yeah, the goal should be to get to level 4. But I would start every more complex solution on level 3. For prototyping, you might even get away with even basic GenAI assistance. So what I do if I want to test if some prompting I come up with might even work, I build a prompt that should be dynamic in the future. I build it like completely static and just try it out. So that's something you could start with. Then you go ahead and go to level 2, which is also still in how easy it's to set up. You can still do it for your prototype, or maybe you should even do it for a prototype, because I'm a big fan of in-context learning, and you have to ground your AI in some existing data and in some rules and guidelines and documents. So yeah, so that's level 2. But if you want to do something that's actually scalable and that works on a broad range of requests for a given task, for a given process, I would start with intelligent AI and GenAI ecosystems, because I think you have to at least have a pipeline. Or I know because that's how I do it all the time. You at least have to have a pipeline where you can evaluate stuff, where you can evaluate results before you give it back to the user. Because, for example, you have your financial system, and you have like 5 financial analyses that are close to each other, so that they all get back when you ask the pipeline. But they're still different, and now you have to check which of these 3 is actually the one I'm searching for, and execute an additional prompt with the 3 chosen documents might be something to consider. Or having even, if it's large documents, you might just do 3 prompts with just the first 5 pages in it, and ask from the first 5 pages, just give me a score from 1 to 5, how good this fits the requests, and then you take the one with the highest score and do a re-rank. So yeah, there's a lot of potential that what you can do, and to get just better retrievals and stuff, but you need a pipeline. Also on the cost side and the latency side, if you go ahead and you build out a pipeline, you can condense the heavy lifting to 1 or 2 requests or one part of your pipeline, which you might even get away from the request itself and can have it prepared somehow. But you can optimize it. That's what I want to say. So the better you optimize the beginning, the more you can use a small model on the tasks that are left to actually answer. Because if everything's prepared well, then even a small model will give you a correct answer. So yeah, that's that. Okay, I think that's basically that. I will come up with some more details, some more interesting ideas around that, and I hope that we can then have the ability to classify stuff into different levels and to get a better overview of the market when looking at it. Yeah, so I would say that's that. I would love to do another hour and some deep dive and concept work, but I think this has to for today. Yeah, if someone's listening, thank you very much. I hope you liked the content today. really can emphasize you to check out the Canvas feature in ChatGPT. It's really nice. Check out Napkin AI. I'll come back to you all with some content about the 5 levels of GenAI solutions. And then, yeah, I think I won't be able. I might be able to stream next week on Friday. I'm not sure about that yet. That said, thank you for listening.